Hello, and welcome back to the 2024 Chicago Bears Season 5 of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. It's that time, yay! We had our first game on last night. That was a good game. Except for the refs did not have a good game last night at all. But the game, it was so great to have football back. It's back. It's tonight, and then college is tomorrow, and then Sunday and Monday, and the Bears play Sunday. I cannot wait. We're all very excited. There's a lot of anticipation and excitement for this season, more so than the first year that we drafted Fields, number one. Well, wasn't number one. He was number 11, but he was a high pick, and everybody was pretty excited back then, but this is different, and if you've been watching my show for the 5 seasons, you know I was never on the Fields bandwagon. I supported my Bears when he was the quarterback. I tried not to be too tough on him, but I was not a fan of his. I knew he wasn't going to make it, at least with the Chicago Bears, and I really don't think he's going to have much of a career in the NFL, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, so let's get to it, huh? I hope you all had a wonderful summer, off season, I should say, because I haven't been around since February I did do a promo show a couple weeks ago, but that doesn't count. But I haven't, so we haven't seen each other really since end of January, early February. So I'm back, and I hope you all come back and join me for season 5. Yeah, you heard it, season 5. Not too excited, am I, of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. And I think this season is going to be just a tad easier than the last 2 seasons. I got to tell you what, I say it all the time. I've been a fan now 49 years. I started in 1975 when Walter joined the team, and I've been through a lot of ups and downs, but the last 2 seasons, I got to tell you what, really, really wore me out. They wore me down. Probably because I'm old, and I'm older, and, we don't climb up that mountain as quickly as you youngsters do, us oldies, so it was rough, very, very rough. I wasn't even sure I was going to do the show this season because I was just so burnt out on the Bears, but I love them. I can't stop talking about them, watching them, so here I am. And I know if I didn't come back, you guys would have been disappointed. So I've got to, be there for my subscribers. I mean, what's a week with the Chicago Bears and not having Let's Talk Chicago Bears and Lynn and this face that, remember my saying, if you watch all the time, you know what I'm going to say. A woman, it's just not fair. A woman who's got her dad's face on a woman's body, not fair. But at least it makes you laugh, don't it? So we're back. You can tell we're back, all right? And if you're new to the show, you know what? What I do is I talk usually the Friday before the show. And I also do a follow-up show. So if they play on Sunday, I do it Monday. If they play on Monday, I do it Tuesday. And I just give certain facts and, stuff like that. Stats, not a lot. I don't go into breaking down plays or anything. And I just talk about the upcoming game, who's going to stand out, what it's going to take for the Bears to win. And then the follow-up game, we talk about the game. So it's about 30 minutes, and I try to keep it to 30 minutes, but I'm a talker. And, I just like to talk about the Bears. I like to laugh. I like to make people laugh. So that's a lot of my show, I'll be honest with you. So, and I hope everybody's happy and healthy. I will tell you real quick before I get into it, I had a rough summer from beginning of July until now, actually. I've been pretty up and down sick. Been on a lot of medication, a lot of tests, lost weight, couldn't eat. I'm still barely. I'm eating now, but it's been bad, and we think we are getting close to figure out what's going on, but it's been bad. I've been really under the weather, and that was another reason why I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do the show, but it looks like we might be on the upswing. We might have figured all this out, so keep your fingers crossed that I can continue to do this show with, because it's been a rough 2 months. There's no doubt about it. But The show must go on, people, so I'm back for right now. So let's talk a little bit about our Chicago Bears. And first, we're going to talk about the team they're going to play, okay? So we're playing the Titans, and the Titans last season were 6-11, and really no better than us. They had a new rookie quarterback last year, Will Levis. He only played. He played 9 games for. He started 9 games for the Titans. He was a number 1 pick. I think he was last year, and he has a total of. He had a total of 255 attempts, 400, not one. You could tell I'm getting back on the saddle again. Let's try again, Lynn. So he had 255 attempts. He completed 149. He had a total of 1808 yards, 1,808 yards, and he had 8 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. So rookie year, that's about good, par for the course. Last year, the Bears were 7-10. We know they came on strong at the end of the season. It's probably the only reason Coach Flus kept his job. So we can't talk about last year's quarterback because, as we all know, we have the number 1 quarterback, the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams, who we're going to talk about in a minute, but more. But I'm going to talk about him in his preseason. Just a real quick stat. We're not going to beat a dead horse on that. His PFF overall grade was 70.3. He had a passing grade of 65.7. And his completion rate was 61.1. He had no interceptions in the preseason, although it is preseason. Remember that, people. But still, that's a good sign. So, and he did have some. I got to tell you, he showed some sparks of really showing flashes. And so let's talk about that. And there's one thing I wanted to say, and I completely forgot to say, but I wanted to give a shout out to Devin Hester and Steve McMichael for both making the Hall of Fame. Right on. They both deserved it. Actually, Devin Hester, with all the new kickoff rules and stuff they're doing now, he's probably going to be the first and the last kickoff specialist in the NFL Hall of Fame. I'm sure of it, because now people just aren't going to do it with the new kickoff rule. Interesting enough to know, the Bears have the most Hall of Famers. They have 39 guys in the Hall of Fame, and the next team, of course, is Green Bay with 34. So I just wanted to give that shout out to those 2 guys, and God bless Steve McMichael. I got to tell you, it was a little disturbing when they went to show him at the Hall of Fame. Devin Hester's speech was awesome. Congratulations, Devin. You really rocked that. And Steve McMichael, it's just so sad. I don't like when they show pictures of him like that and they put him on the news. I don't like it at all. I think it's a little disrespectful, but that's me. But God bless Steve and your family. So let's talk about the preseason. So we know we won all games, which actually means nothing. I believe in 1985 when the Bears won the Super Bowl, they didn't win any preseason games. So, preseason, is what it is. The teams don't show a lot. They don't want to show too much for the season opener, and they're trying things. People are like, why do they do that? Well, it's the preseason. This is the time to take the chances, and so that's what they did. But we gotta say our team definitely looked better than we saw them last year, and they're continuing, and there's bright spots all the way around this team, better than it's been. I mean, we have been doing the right things the last 3 years. Starting with the draft, building teams, adding players that are not old, and we're not getting starters that have been around forever and just plugging them in for a year. We're doing it the right way. We're getting guys. Poles is doing it the right way. So let's hope he keeps it up. And hopefully what appears on paper and what we've seen in preseason all happens on the field with the regular season. So let's talk about Cabe. I got to tell you, in the beginning of the year, after the season was over, and they talk about the draft and the players, and I am a believer. I know you can't believe anything you read anymore on the internet anywhere. It's all bullshit. We know that. So you really got to find the stuff, and it was really hard. There was a lot of negative stuff on Cabe Williams, who was number 18 for the Bears, and you really had to go and find it. And they kind of painted him as kind of a prima donna, and this and that. So I was a little worried, but as we got closer to the draft, and once he was drafted, it turned out he's nothing like that. And I could tell you one thing: when he was drafted, he had the biggest smile on his face, and then he goes into the crowd and he's taking pictures of him. When Fields got drafted, he had like a frown on his face. I don't think he wanted to be drafted by the Bears, and it showed. And Cabe, the thing about Cabe Williams, too, is he's always got a smile on his face. He's happy. He loves football, and you can see it. And I got to tell you what, just watching him in preseason, he did some things that Fields couldn't do or wouldn't do. And the biggest thing with Fields, besides his fumbling problem, is that when that offensive line even started to come close into him, and he would freak out. So he either would hold on to the ball too long and get sacked, he'd fumble it, or he'd throw a stupid ass pass or start running and didn't do much. And you got good quarterbacks can stay in there to the last second, and he just is not able to do that at this point with the Bears. Now it could change for him, I don't know, and I don't care, but Cabe stands in there and you can see it. He is not afraid. So there is, he is a rookie, so there is going to be a lot of learning curves. We saw a lot of good stuff in the preseason, we know that. And he just made us go, what? And he seems confident. He seems like this game isn't too big for him, and that was where Fields, the game seemed awfully big for him and way too fast for him. And Williams is still learning, and he's going to make mistakes, so everybody's got to be prepared for that. It's going to happen. But let's hope not that much, and then he learns from them and doesn't continue to keep doing it. Our offensive line looked better. It's a work in process. It's, our guys got to be healthy. And with a good, solid line, which we really need, that'll help Williams. But I think Williams' play, his confidence and his ability to stand there in that pocket is going to help his offensive line too. And then that's going to help the running game, and it's just going to go, and then it's just going to continue. Our running backs looked good in preseason. They all look good. We're going to have a running game, which is only going to be a bonus for Cabe Williams, because if you've got a good, solid running game, that relieves a lot of pressure from your quarterback. He doesn't have to make all the tough decisions if you're getting, 6-7 yards a clip, 10 yards a clip. That just makes life so easier. So let's just hope that our running backs continue to look as good as they did in preseason. We've got so many running backs. Even Venus Jones, or whatever the fuck his name is, who was not a good receiver. We all know that. He couldn't catch punts. He kept fumbling them out. Remember that? So now they tried him at running back, and he looked good. So I got to give him credit, and they kept him on the team. So he'll be mostly the third, fourth running back, but our running backs look good. We've got Herbert, and we got Swift, and we've got anyways, a new season. I got to start remembering their players again. Remember this brain. Another thing, if you watch me, pickled. I'm 66, and I had a lot of fun in my years, which I'm clearly paying for now in the last 2 months. So with, as you see, it starts quarterback. He's good. He's going to make your offensive line better, and we got to have them better to make him better. But so everything's going to make each other look better, because everybody looked good. The offensive line still work in progress. There is some times, but I think if we can stay healthy, we may be able to make it through this year. Because a lot of people, instead of going after the wide receiver at number 9 in the draft, who was really awesome, the Bears got really lucky because he shouldn't even have been available, but he was. And so a lot of people thought they were going to take a offensive lineman, and they needed one desperately, but here was this great wide receiver. You couldn't pass him up, so that's why. So let's hope that the Bears, what they've done, and if they can stay healthy, we're going to have a good line, and that's going to help Cabe, your running backs, and it's also going to help your wide receivers, who, again, we've got, on paper, we've got wide receivers now. I don't think the team has ever had wide receivers like this ever. Not in my 49 years, this many of them. You might have had one and then a decent backup in the 80s and 90s, but not like this. So, I mean, it is going to be fun. I mean, you've got Moore, you've got all of them. I'm just not going to go into it right now, but the running backs or the wide receivers, Cabe, if he can, just be good and settle down and plant his feet, he's got the guys who can make him look really good. And you know what? We've never had a quarterback either. I don't care what people say. They may say somebody from back from the 40s and, what's his name? Oh, I can't think of it, from 40s or 50s. And Jim McMahon. No disrespect, Jim McMahon. I know you were our quarterback when we won the Super Bowl, but you were average at best, and we know it. We had Walter Payton on that team. We had Matt Suey. We had a defense that scared the shit out of everybody. That's why we won the Super Bowl that year. And it wasn't from a great quarterback. So if Cabe can be the real thing that other teams seem to get, but the Chicago Bears never, this could be phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you, if this kid Cabe turns out to be everything he's expected to be and everything we've all wanted and needed, he will never buy another meal, another drink in Illinois. He will be rich beyond rich, and I'm not talking just contracts, I'm talking endorsements. He will be the talk of the town. And the only thing that scares me is that it goes to his head too much, and he starts getting caught up in the press of it and the notoriety of it. Stay focused, young man. Keep your head on the game. You can party in the off season if we win a lot and you're all that. You can do it then. But this, right now, from now until January, it's all football, Cabe. All football. We need you, man. We need you a lot. So, okay, that's that. We're going to move on. But I will say, some other guys that stuck out, I did talk about Venus Jones at running back. He played 3 games. He had 29 carries, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So that's pretty dang good. I got to tell you, for somebody who we drafted pretty high up in the third round. So kind of high. And it was Pole's first draft. And I know he didn't want to release this guy as a failure, but it turned out he's going to add value to our team. So good job, Jones. Another standout, which is going to be a really good backup. And Taylor Scott had a great preseason. He's another really good, solid backup, which we need. Another good story that came out of camp on the offense was rookie Ian Wheeler. He was a running back, and he had a great camp. And I talked to so many people, and they were all saying the same thing. This kid's going to make the team. He looks really good. And the last game of the season, which he was going to play a lot, he tore his ACL. Can you frickin' believe it? What a fucking bummer. And I felt so bad for the kid. And I don't know if people watched the HBO Hard Knocks. The Bears are on it this year. I'm sure you all know. I watched it. It was okay. It didn't do much for me. But this particular thing stood out. When Poles brought him in to tell him whether he was going to be on the team or not, it was cut day. Poles told him, we're going to keep you and we're putting you on IR, which means he is still on the team, still getting a little money, probably not much, but it's money, and he can stay around the team and learn. And then he has a chance to make the team if he's healthy next year. Poles is like, who can be right back here. And that would be pretty cool. Wouldn't it be cool to see that? Because he did have a really good preseason, and you could think somebody, he's another one of those guys you just never know, right? So Ian, that's just awful. Our hearts go with you. I know it sucks, but you're still a Chicago Bear, and hopefully we see you in the 2025 season. Okay, so that was offense. We all know what it is. So defense, they looked pretty good in the preseason too. They had some the starters didn't play a lot. We had way more backups because we needed to find what kind of depth we have, and that's very important, right? And that's something we've known in injuries really hurts, right? But the Bears their defense had a good preseason, and the backups, in my opinion, really looked good. Our backfield for sure looks good. They always look good, and they're just going to get better. And a backup who really stood out was Kevin Bryant. And he had a good camp. And Gordon, he looked as good as ever at the last couple games he played in the first quarter, and he looked great. Barring any injuries, that backfield is going to be phenomenal. I think they're going to set some records. I think they're going to have a lot of interceptions, and I think they're going to be a big part of this defense this year. And that kind of leads into our defensive line. Now, our defensive line had some bright spots and not so bright spots in the preseason, but the defensive line being more improved and better at stopping the run, getting after the quarterback is only going to help the backfield make them better and better, and they're already damn good. So this is, again, where you're one part of your team's helping the other part. So we got our defensive line. Sweat is on one side, we know that. And they tried to get somebody in the off season. They picked up a few guys that they thought, and then there was one they really wanted to get, and they couldn't get them. But they did draft somebody. We're going to talk about him in a minute. But the one thing I will say is, you want somebody on the other side to complement Sweat, because he's going to be double teamed if you got nobody. He's going to be double teamed anyways, but if you got a solid guy on the other side, you're going to get to the quarterback. So that line, and we've got to stop the run. Stop the run is so important. So the defensive line, the D really starts with the defensive line. Then you've got your linebackers, which are okay. We've got decent linebackers, and then the backfield. But that D looks good to me. And what really stood out to me in this preseason for our defense was their tackling. I don't know if people noticed it, but boy, they were tackling. If they got to the guy, they took him down. You didn't see what we saw last year a few times. They go to wrap him up either too high or way too low, and they couldn't bring him down, and they just run right through him. They did that a lot. Not in the preseason. I got to tell you what, I know they're working on that, and that's huge. Tackling is so important. You got it. If you're there, you damn well better wrap them up and to bring them down, okay? And we don't want to see. We've seen that last year. I don't know if you remember, people, but yeah, there's many times where they're there, but they don't wrap them up and they get away, and then they're making 30 yards after that. So tackling, huge, important, and I saw it very improved in preseason. So let's hope that continues. Another standout on the D is our rookie Austin Booker, number 94. He's on the other side of the D line, opposite Sweat, and he has really looked good for a rookie. Everybody from the coaches to the players are praising the smarts this guy has gotten. And this comes from Sweat himself, who is the D lineman, who's awesome on the other side, 98. He says Booker has gotten high praise from Sweat, who's very impressed with this rookie. Per Sweat, he is got a tremendous talent. He is light years ahead of where a rookie should be. I'm excited to see how the year goes for him and us. Now, that is quite a praise to get from a seasoned, and I would imagine Sweat, I don't know who the captains are, I forgot to look, but I do know that Cabe Williams is a captain, and that's unheard of for a rookie quarterback to be a captain on a first-time team. But talking about captains, Sweat's probably captain, and Sweat is very highly respected on that team, and he knows what he's doing. So that's high praise from him. And he says he's really smart. He asks a lot of questions, and he is already learning how guys like to block him. So he knows. So now he's learning how to try new moves. Sweat says. And he says, and that's light years away from a rookie. Rookies don't usually, they're just trying to learn that position. He's already learned it somewhat to their liking, and he's worrying now. He's learning about how the other teams are going to block him and how he's going to counteract that. For a rookie, come on, that's phenomenal. So this is only going to make the line. If Austin can be what people see on paper and have seen in camp and preseason, and he stays healthy is the theme this season for all of the team. We're going to have a really good D-line, and then that's just going to help the rest of the defense. I mean, there was other guys that stood out, but it's just, I'm not going to go into everybody. The defense just looked like it's continued from last season, because we really started getting good at the end last season with the defense, and that's why we won those games at the end. So the defense, and they're just into it, and they love working with each other, and they're excited. So there's a lot of excitement coming out of the locker room these days, and I'm pumped. So one last standout I wanted to talk about was our rookie punter, and that's another thing. Most teams don't go and draft a punter. It just doesn't happen. They usually take them undrafted. This guy was picked in the 4th round, and he came from Iowa, and he is so good. And why did I not put his name down here? Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't do that. Oh shit. Anyways, he's our punter. See, this is my first show, so I apologize, but he is number 19. He's our punter. You all saw him punt. I'm a big college watcher. I love football, college football, and I'm a Big Ten fan. And I watched Iowa. I like to watch Iowa a lot. And I saw this kid punt the last 3 years, and he's from Australia. And this kid can put them down. I can't tell you how many times I saw him put it on the 5-yard line when he was with Iowa. And like I said, he's from Australia. He loves American football. And this is a quote from him, which I really liked. He said, "I don't care if I punt once or twice in a game, because that means we are going to win. And all I love to do is win with my brothers and my team." This guy, I love him. He is funny. He's got the hair, and he is freaking talented. I mean, this kid, he's going to bring some character back to this team. You know, when we've had that in the past, and we've had the characters on the team, and he is really good. So here's another one. We've got a great punter, and he was nailing them in the 10-yard line in preseason. So he's going to get better and better too. And I mean, there's so much youth on this team and enthusiasm. It's so exciting, isn't it? So we open the season at home against Tennessee. They're rebuilding too, so we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, everybody's pretty confident we're going to win on Sunday, but let's hope we do. I mean, it would be so great to start the season with a good, solid win. And it will just help the team. So what we need to do, because the teams haven't started playing yet, but I will give you my threes. Do you remember my threes? People who watch me, I do this every week before the game. If you win my threes, you're in the game, and you're got a good damn chance of winning, or you're going to win it no matter what. So my threes are time of possession, turnover, and penalties. And my penalties rule is 5 or less to win that game. Now, people do win the games with more, but on the average, it's true. 5 or less, you're going to got a chance to win that game, or you're going to win that game. And I hate penalties. And if you know me, you know. If they do a penalty game, I will come back and I will rip on them. I cannot stand them. They are so stupid. The Bears, in the last 2 seasons I'm just going to talk about, I cannot tell you how many times a penalty stopped the drive on first down. You get first down and you get a holding penalty. Now it's 1st and 20. And that changes your play call so much. So now it limits, your book is this big, your play calls, now it's like this and this and this. And there were so many times the Bears would start having drives, penalties, boom, 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 backwards, punts. No scoring, or just a field goal if we were lucky. But you guys know what I mean. They ruin momentum. They get in your head, and they just make the other team better. So time of possession, you win that. It means your offense is on the field a lot, and that means their defense is on the field a lot, and you're going to get them tired, especially if you got a great running game. And if you got a great running game in the fourth quarter, you just pound it down their throats. You tire them out, and you keep them on the field. Time of possession helps your defense. It gets your defense off the field and rested. Too many 3-and-outs. All you're going to do, and the Bears have done it in the last 2 years, is you wear your defense out. You're 3-and-out, they're right back on the field again. And you can't do that. So time of possession, it is so important. And the time of possession just gives you it just gives you everything. Like, it's like, I can't, again, first show of the season, I got to get my head game on, my show head on. My show head? I don't know what that means. But I got to get back to, but the time of possession, huge. Turnovers, you get turnovers. What does that do? Number one, it jazzes your team, and it deflates the other team. It takes the ball away from their offense and gives it to your offense. It gives your offense off your defense off the field and makes them come back to the field. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and depending on where it is, it could be run back for a touchdown, or it could be close. Regardless, you're helping the team. So, time of possession, see how important? Turnovers, and then the penalties, 5 or less, okay? They win these, Bears are going to win that game. That's just my opinion. I don't usually do predictions. I don't do, the Bears are going to win 24-17 or something like that. I don't do that. I don't like it. I don't do it. I don't even bet on the Bears. When I do bet, sometimes, I live in Vegas now, baby. Come on, Vegas, baby. And I got a casino 5 minutes from my house. And sometimes I like to do parlays. I do 3 teams, but I never do the Bears. And I'm on a suicide league where you get 2 picks the whole season, and each week you have to pick a winner. I always wait for the Bears to the end of the season. Either I'm out of the game because I got 2 strikes, or I know I'm only a pick 'em if I know it's just an easy. Although I have a rule that anybody can be beaten on any given Sunday. I don't care who you are. You really can. So, you know what? But I won't do predictions. That's what I'm telling you. So, if you guys know me, you know that, right? So, and I've got my Mike Ditka jersey on today. And, we're back. So, I'm probably not my greatest show. I apologize. But I'll be back, and I'll know the players' names, and I'll put them in my notes. And, like the rookie punter, but he is good, so keep your eye on him. And number 19, and I gave you a few standouts, but overall, it was a wonderful preseason. I'm usually not a big preseason watcher, but I did this year because I really wanted to see our backups, and I wanted to see Cabe. I'm pumped. There's no doubt about it. Every season I go in saying we're going to win, but I know deep down that's not going to happen. I just say it because I'm a Bears fan, But this season, you know what? I think we could have a winning season and be over 500, and I would be digging that. I know a lot of people want to go to the playoffs. Of course I want to go to the playoffs. But I don't want to go to be like a wild card team and lose in the first game. That don't do nothing for me. I want to, this year, of course, I want to be over 500, and I want to win as many games as we can, and I want us to be better. Be better on the field, your record's going to be better. So let's just play good, air-free football and frickin' turn this thing around, because I'll tell you what, the Chicago Bears fans deserve it. We've been through a lot, and it's time to start winning again, and it's time to start beating Green Bay, okay? 2 goals this year, to be over 500 and beat Green Bay. That's an order. That's all I want, okay? And I'm just going to throw this out there. I am going to a game October 6th, Carolina. Me and my sister, she lives in Tennessee now. I live in Vegas, baby. And we're going to go to that game. We're both flying out. We're just going in and out. We're coming in on a Saturday and leaving on a Monday. We're going with a couple relatives, my cousin and his wife, and we're just going to have a good time. So maybe I'll talk about it when we get closer. Maybe somebody will be in the stands and I can meet him. I'm going to try to get Mr. McCaskey to actually meet me. If you've been a watcher of this show, you know that him and I are pen pals. I've got the 3 letters up here that he wrote me. And we've talked on the phone. He gave me his phone number. Long story, but he has. So I've never used the phone number except for once to call him back when he called me. I'm calling him, and I'm going to say, hey, let's meet up and meet in person. I would love to talk. Like I said, I've talked to him on the phone, so maybe I'll get that. Okay, I got to stop talking because I'm over my 30 minutes. I told you I do that, but that's all right. It's the first show, baby. So go Bears, and this is how I end my show, every show. I hope you like it. You don't, I'm going to do it anyways. In my show, remember that. Be kind to one another. Treat people with respect. Smile at people. Let's help each other out. We only have each other right now. You know, the times are tough with this election and the economy and everything being so expensive. Stick together. That's what I do when I talk to people when I'm out and about. I'll talk to anybody. I will. I talk to everybody. And I love it. And you get such great stories. And everything I'm hearing out there is we just want things to be better and everybody to get along and things to be a little cheaper and doable. So respect one another. Help people out if they need it. If you see somebody, come to their aid. You don't know what's going on in their lives. Like I have been sick the last couple months, and people at my grocery store, they could tell her like, you don't look good, But it helps when people care about you. So be kind. Love one another. Because you know what? We're Chicago Bear fans, and we rock. Midwest rocks. Whenever I meet somebody here from Vegas, from the Midwest, I'm like, right on. Okay, I'm going to stop. That's all, folks. Okay, so keep watching me all year. I hope you come back. Tell your friends. Subscribe. I'm going to try to get to 500 years. I don't think so. I'm at 390, but that's okay. I enjoy doing it. I just like people to watch my show. That's really the most important, and I hope they enjoy it. And sometimes I get comments. I've got regulars, so I love you guys. I know you're coming back. Tell your friends, watch me, comments, and I might be doing. I did a show 2 years ago with my buddy. We called. We did a podcast, a live podcast on Wednesdays, and we did it for part of the year last year before my knee surgery, and then we stopped. So we may be. I'm starting that back up again. If we do, I'll let you know. So, anyways, go Bears. I cannot wait for Sunday, 10 a.m. here. It's breakfast here. There's no beer opening yet. I wait till at least noon. Although right now I'm not sure I'm really allowed to have beer with being sick, but oh well, we'll see. Anyways, remember, pickled. Go Bears. Bring us home a win. And I might start the tradition again of singing the touchdown song every time the Bears win a game, because you all love to hear my voice. And that touchdown song is so bad. It cracks me up every time I sing it because it's so bad. We need a new one. All right, I'm going to stop. I love you all. Go Bears, and I will see you on Monday, hopefully a Victory Monday. Bye-bye.